Greetings, YouTube. I've been a fan of science fiction my whole life. I can never remember a point where I didn't find it interesting. I even remember watching the last season of Star Trek when it ran for real the first time on television. It's one of my most vivid childhood memories. And I really love the Aliens franchise. The first movie, Alien, is one of the best science fiction horror films ever made. It's a work of art. The second movie, Aliens, is one of my top 5 favorite films. When it comes to a solid action science fiction film, I don't think anybody's done any better than that. I freely admit that the third Aliens film is the weakest of the franchise, and it isn't very good. It doesn't do justice to a number of the characters, but it's still better than a whole lot of science fiction out there. The last one I thought was very interesting, and to me it really had a feel of an adventuring party of role-playing characters going on a mission, of people who are really morally ambiguous at best, if not out and out immoral. And I found their interactions with the different characters and their objectives, from wanting to make money to wanting to not die, very interesting. I had a lot of fun with it. The ending of the fourth was insane because it would have killed millions of people, but it was still a really cool movie and I had a good time. But there's one thing that's always bothered me about the Alien films, from the first time I saw the first movie in the theater to the last one, and that's the life cycle of the alien. Now, the alien's life cycle is based on Earth life cycles. There are animals that plant an egg inside of another creature, often an insect, because these animals are mostly insects. Sometimes they paralyze them first, sometimes they don't. And the egg hatches, the larval stage consumes the host, and then it breaks out and moves on. The Aliens is a little more subtle. It's a little, I don't know quite well why it's more subtle, but it is. Basically because it's scarier if you don't know the alien's inside you, and it doesn't kill you immediately, and it just bursts out of your chest, which is, fairly terrifying, and especially to men, have the whole gestation concept and the face hugger penetrating and inseminating the individual. So you had a whole lot of psychosexual stuff going on there. But after it bursts out, you've got this little alien, about, I don't know, yay big, not counting the tail, which then scampers off to hide, which is good if you're a small creature. And then sometime within the next 24 hours, you've got a 7-foot monster. That doesn't make any sense. Now, in the real world, the process of transforming from a small, relatively harmless creature to a larger creature takes, even in the insect world, often takes days, sometimes weeks to accomplish. Look at frogs. They have a tadpole stage, and then they go into adults. That takes weeks to accomplish. But they often have an egg sac which feeds their body, or they feed while they're transforming from a larval form to adult form. The aliens don't do that. In the first movie, there was nothing for them to eat on that ship. They didn't eat the cat. They didn't eat the crew members they killed, because they didn't kill any of the crew members except bursting out of the guy's chest until they were an adult already. So where's the mass come from? Where does the energy come from that fuels the building of a body that's 7 feet tall, full of acid, from a little tiny, relatively harmless alien chest burster? And in the second film, Aliens, it doesn't get answered either. You've got an entire planet full of people, a population of 158. I actually watched the movie last night. And you got all these aliens running around. Where'd they get the food to grow? It's always confused me. I always thought it was a major flaw in the logic of the universe that they presented. Yes, I know people are going to comment about this and say, it's just a movie, don't worry about it. But if you don't craft your film consistently and thoroughly, if you don't show the audience that you understand your universe, how can you expect the audience who's viewing this universe to truly understand it and buy into it? So for me, I want consistency, even if it is only internal consistency. So you can have a world of fantasy or science fiction fantasy like Star Wars, but as long as it's internally consistent, I'm not going to argue. Which is why the first three movies, episodes 4 through 6, are great, and the prequels 1 through 3 really suck. But this weekend I got lucky, and at a yard sale I found all first three of the Alien movies for $5. So I watched Aliens on Saturday night. I watched Alien and Aliens tonight, and probably this coming Friday I'll watch the third one, just because I haven't seen it since it came out in the theater. And I'm hoping I can shag down the fourth one to complete my collection. But I want producers and directors and writers to craft me something that they should be proud of. Something that is not only beautiful to look at and well written, but internally consistent as well.